hello, everybody, and welcome to your Energy Booster Academy. Today, I have with me my precious friend, who's also my accountability partner for like 2 years now, right, Sunizia?
Yes.
It's been 2 years, and here we are. So, let me introduce you to my friend, Miss Tunisia Gasper. So she is on a mission to transform how people perceive and interact with money. Her journey in the dynamic world of banking has been marked by her unwavering belief in the philosophy: I can be anything I put my mind to. This is so good. She is also a devoted wife and mother of two young girls. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you my friend who's also an author and now an Amazon best-selling author of the book Renew Your Mind for Success. We have here Miss Anisia Gasper. How are you, Teddy? What a
Hi,
wonderful
Jeanette.
day.
Hi, everyone.
Let
I'm
me
so
check.
happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so happy to have you as well. Let me check if yeah, let me have a tech check with Facebook if we can be heard. And there we go. We are officially live. And yeah, go ahead, Tani. Tell us about you.
Okay, I am Tanzia Gasper from Guyana, South America. Way down south. You're up north, I'm down south. Um,
Yes.
I have recently launched my book, Renew Your Mind for Success. I've been in the banking industry for over 2 decades. I, as you would have mentioned, I'm a mother, I'm a leader, and I'm an advocate for girls. Maybe that come as a result of me having two girls, but I've always liked, as women, as girls, to instill positive behaviors and just upliftment, because sometimes as women we beat ourselves down. But I like to advocate and to boost your confidence and let you know that you're not alone in whatever you might be going through, but there might be some other woman, some other girl who would have experienced similar. So that is about me in a nutshell, Judith.
That's really great, Tanny. I call her Tanny, by the way. And yeah, this is just a great topic to kickstart the year. You know, yeah. So we're just starting 2024. We're just
Yes.
like 2 weeks ahead of 2024, and we have more weeks to come.
Yes.
So yeah, what are we gonna do, right? I hope this year will be abundant for everybody, and I hope we level up in yeah, the last previously we talked about what are we gonna do to make this year better than the other years.
Yes.
So it's really a great topic to talk about, and how to renew our mind for success for this year. So yeah, success. I mean, we are so. I mean, there's a lot of definition about success, and
Yes, it can be
one of
subjective.
yeah, it can
Yes.
be
Each of us will have our own definition of
definition.
what
Yeah.
we see success as.
So, what is success for you, Tanny?
Well, success for me is being able to have it all: good health, good family, good businesses, good finances, and also being able to continue to connect with the divine, with the one who would have created us, and to breathe his breath into our lives. So for me, I see success as and holistic approach where you're able to have that overflow in every aspect of your life. That for me is a successful person.
Wow, that is really amazing. And I totally agree with that. I want this conversation to be engaging. So if you are watching us live right now, tell us about what success means to you. What is the meaning of success to you? Because the meaning of success to me might be different than how you define success, and there's no right or wrong answer here. Each one of us, we are unique, and we do have different perspective in life. So what is,
Absolutely.
yeah, it depends on your priority, on what is really you want to work on for this year. So tell me, what is success for you? I would, I love StreamYard because when we get a comment, I can put it up here on the screen. So I would really appreciate if you guys could define success for you. And you, I mean, in your own definition, what is success? So I was just reflecting earlier, like, we're gonna talk about success here. And so I was like, what is success for me? Because success for me last year is different,
Def-
than
Definitely.
this year. What is my definition for success this year? So I was thinking, yeah, just like you, it's a holistic approach for me as well. Like, success is something, that I will be well financially, not just financially, but physically, emotionally, psychologically,
Yes.
yeah, spiritually, most of all, in mentally. So most definitely, like, it's before, previously, it was all about me. So for now, I would add success, so I could be able to pour onto others as well as I pour on me, not just emotionally, physically, mentally, but also financially. If I can help others, especially, people who are in need, and, my extended family, if I can pour on them financially, that will be success for me this year. So yeah, there you go. What about you
Great.
guys? What is success for you? Because yeah, for me right now, it's not just gonna be all about me. It's gonna be all about others, especially the people that I care and I love. So there you go. Yeah, Tanny.
What's
So yeah, well, there's no comment yet, but you can type in your comment here so we can interact. But while waiting for your comments about your definition for success, Tanny, tell me, you guys, she is the mindset coach. So if you need one, you can definitely hire Tanny. You can follow her on Facebook.
yes.
Yeah, before we proceed, Tanny, I want you to, yeah, tell them where can they follow you, where can they find you?
Okay, I'm on Facebook, Tanzia at facebook.com. Also on Instagram, Tanzia at ig.com. Or you can send me an email, Tanzia at, well, my email, I have a website, Tanzia at tanziagasper.com. So you can email me there as well.
Tanzia, let me type it. Tanzia at
tanziagasper.com.
Tanzia Gasper. That's your website.
Yes, that's my
Dot com.
website. And at Facebook, on Facebook as well as Instagram, it's my first name.
So
You
they
got
can
it.
find you, yeah, Tanzia Gasper in Facebook and Gmail. Facebook
Facebook
and
and IG.
Instagram. Sorry,
Yes, it's Tanzia at Facebook and Tanzia
Gasper.
on Instagram. So you can follow me there. But as Jeanette was talking about, for her this year, success will look differently. Absolutely, because every day we are chasing different things. And as we're in a new year, we should have new goals, or even if some of the things we were not able to accomplish last year and we bring them over in this year, we should expand it a little so that it stretches us. You know, think goals especially should be something that stretches you, not just, oh, I'm here working on a small thing. You already know that you can achieve it. So you need something that can be able to stretch you a little. And so success in that area is where you're taking the little bite-sized steps to be able to get to where you want. And you should know that you're your own competition. Don't be competing with anybody. So don't look across at Jeanette's success and wish to be her. We Each of us are unique in our own right and have our strengths and weaknesses. So we should be able to tap into what we can do good and develop that, expand that, grow that, rather than looking over and trying to be someone else, imitating someone and things like that. Right. So
That's
I don't
amazing.
know if you want to chime in or you want me to continue, Jeanette.
You go ahead. Like, yeah. We're here. We are your students today. So, ma'am, go ahead.
All right. So renew, renew your mind for success. When you think about renewing your mind for success, a lot of times, each of us as individuals, we want to have different things. We have goals, but sometimes we need to consider, are we prepared to work to achieve those goals? Are we willing? Because sometimes, we all wish for things, but we don't want to put in the work. And if we're going to be successful at anything, we've got to put in the sweat to be able to accomplish that. All right. So I want to implore you, even as Jeanette would have mentioned, we're still early in the new year, just about 2 weeks. We still have time if you haven't decided on what is it you want to pursue this year. You still have the time to be able to not just keep it in your head, but write it on paper. A lot of times when we write things down, they act as reminders. So even when you forget and you might be flipping a journal and you must say, what? I wrote this. And then it blows your own self away because it jolt your memory. Oh my, look how many years ago this was, especially if it has not been satisfied, you're still working on it, right? Get in the habit of writing things down. Write your goals down, get them out of your head and onto paper. When it's on paper, they're going to remind you. But sometimes when we keep them to ourselves, then we're not able to remember at all times. We tend to forget because life happened to each of us. And as life happened, we tend to forget, some of the things that we were passionate about, some of the goals we wanted to chase. So when it's down on the paper, we're able to continue and to pursue them as we are being reminded when we would have stumbled on a journal or maybe a stick note in your office or, somewhere where you've written, whether it's in a book, you would have written something down. When you identify it, you're able to remember. So I believe that we should spend some time, even as we are in the first month, the first month of the year. We should spend some time going through how last year went if we haven't done that before. What worked, what didn't work. Because if we're to be successful, then we have to be able to analyze what worked for us, what didn't, why it didn't work. Did we put in the effort? And once we would have done that, put the goals down, have that period where you're able to analyze what worked and what didn't work, then you can now be able to plan your roadmap to get you where you want to go, who you would need to talk to, who you would need to network, what book you would need to read, or what course you might need to take to be able to get you to where you want to go. All right.
This is
So,
amazing. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
so
Yeah,
for
so
me,
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. You go ahead, Jeanette. You go.
Okay, you say, yeah, I'll let you finish.
That's all right.
So like Tani, this is really there, whoever is here right now is in for a treat, because sometimes we are not mindful of really what we want to achieve. We are just like, like we wake up each day and like go to work, and then that's it. Like we were like walking zombie. And I can remember for many years I've been like that, and I was just chasing, you know um fame, these awards and
Yeah.
all that stuff, all that good stuff. And I just want to share this story. When I went to Philippines, it was like a week ago. I came back here, so I went to my house there, and saw all of these awards that I accumulated when I was still in insurance. And and all of them, my house got flooded anyway, and all of them were like, it's like trash. Like my parents didn't throw it because they were thinking like, oh, maybe I don't want to throw them. And so while I was, compiling them, and I was just thinking like,
Mhm.
well, all of this didn't really matter. All those awards, you see that I was chasing in the past, like I would die for them. I would really like, my leaders would set me a goal, and they will tell me, if you do this, you will have these awards, stuff like that, and you go up to the stage and you will be rewarded. And I was really chasing those stuff in the past. And looking back, while I was, trying to throw them all, I realized like, wow, I mean, like those things like didn't really matter. And what really mattered were the things I've learned when I was chasing all these awards, all this fame, and all that, the money that, went with it. So, yeah, I throw them all, and I'm like, I wouldn't, I before I thought my identity was, was attached to all those awards, that I was like this, I was like that. And then, as I was in this growth journey, for this past few years, after all of these things happened, I realized that, yeah, my identity is not attached into all of the awards that I received in the past. My identity is, right now I'm a child of God, and nothing is impossible, and I can do all things through Christ, and I don't really need all those awards.
Yes.
So, like, yeah, we're talking about success here, and all whoever is watching right now. Yeah, we were asking what is success for you, and Tani was sharing about, um you have, if you have a goal, you have to, you said about bite size, right? You have to write it, and yeah, and see to it that you write it, because sometimes you will lose it, and you will end up, and here comes 2025 already, and you didn't do anything. So what I'm trying to say is, success, although we define it differently, what really matter here is who you become at the end of it. Because when we're chasing the wrong thing, um, it would be, I don't know, like we will be misguided. So yeah, go ahead, Tanya.
Definitely. We have to be mindful of the person we're becoming, and recognize that even in the process of chasing our goals, as you said, looking back at all the medals you would have been awarded, right? You recognize now that they mean nothing because maybe the lessons that you would have learned, you would have outgrown that. So you're at a stage in your life where you're receiving new information. You would have grown in your mindset. And because of that growth process, then those years when you were much younger, you could actually, you know, encourage yourself, encourage that younger version of yourself and to take different path in terms of don't pursue after things, but what are those things satisfying for you? Who are you becoming? What personality traits are you developing? What soft skill this experience would have allowed you to gain? All right. So most definitely. So there are times when we need to go back, look back, and then talk to our younger self and to, advise our younger self what we were pursuing is not necessarily would have been the wrong thing at that time, but because of the knowledge we had then, it allows us to make those choices. But with more knowledge, you're able to make better decisions. That's where growth and maturity comes in. And for someone who might be pursuing success, I would say be a lifelong learner. You have to continue to reorient yourself. You have to continue to grow to be able to remain successful because we don't want to just achieve a goal and recognize that this is all there is to it.
Yeah.
We must, when we're doing things, not just think of ourselves, but what impact, what legacy do we want to have left when we would have long gone? All right. So now that we are wiser, we would have grown not just in age, but in knowledge and in wisdom. Then we're able, for those of us who might have kids, to pass that nugget on, those information that look, don't just chase things, but be sure of how would that impact you in that season, and what legacy do you want to leave when you would have left that job to move on or leave that industry, whatever the case is. You know, we are not just here by accident, but by purpose, and each of us has our unique purpose. So we have to allow ourselves through the different experiences. It's not always going to be sweet, but in every experience we can learn something out and from it, and those lessons learned must be able to push us further in the learning curve. All right.
Yeah, so you said that in order to renew your mind for success, learn, we should continually learn.
Learning,
Is it?
yes.
Yeah. So you have already shared a lot, but yeah, let's so yeah, I think we're gonna go with that first. We need to be open to learning, because if we don't, then we'll be stuck in, yeah, without growth, then there's no life,
Absolutely.
right?
There's no life.
There is no life without growth. There is no life. Like, how can you be able to move forward with your goals if if you don't grow? So if you, meaning, like, if you have a business, so if you want to grow your business, you have to grow yourself, because you
Sure.
can't grow your business to the level that you want it to grow on the same person that you are right now. You need to
Definitely.
level up, right?
Yes.
So be
Level up.
open for growth. Okay, so what else?
Well, secondly, I would encourage persons, when you think of renewing your mind for success, we must be able to plan and to pursue those plans. A lot of times, research would have shown that in the first quarter of the year, a high percentage of persons would have made, resolution. This is what I want to get done, and
Yes.
after that first quarter, the passion is no longer there. And the passion, because life happens. And sometimes when life happens to us, we need someone else to help us along the journey, you know, like this the poem Footprints in the Sand, right? According to the poem, when you're not seeing the person, it is then that they're carrying you. So each of us in this life need someone to carry us at some point. So as we continue to write our goals down, then it will be we can be able to see, who is it I need? What is it I need? How am I going to keep the momentum? Because as you mentioned earlier, success is not a one and done.
Yeah.
As we grow, our appetite enlarge. Think of a babe. In the early stage, all that is good for the baby is breastfeeding. As the baby grows, then you need different things. You need a gerber, fruit, and then as growth continues, then you need meat. So with our business, so with whatever we are pursuing, all right, as you mentioned, you need to grow yourself. But I believe if we don't take time to write those goals down, we can get loose track when life happens to us. As it is written down, we're able to, even if there's a brief pause, whether it's a month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever the period, because depending on the impact of your experiences, you're able to return to that goal. You're able to pick yourself up after you would have learned those lessons and continue along your success roadmap, continue along your journey to achieve and accomplish whatever you would have set out to. So, the second point I want to leave with you as it relates to renewing your mind for success is journaling. I find it very useful and important because once it's on paper, someday, somehow, you're going to stumble upon it, even if you forget it as
So,
life
how do
happened.
you sorry. So how do you yeah, I'm like, Tantia, I'm so busy. I don't even have time to write. I don't have time to journal. Like, how can I build a habit to do that?
Well, indeed, we are busy people and with a lot going on. Let's say you're driving, Jeanette. There are
Mhm.
softwares that you can use to be able to use your voice, and they're going to do the texting, and you send that to your email. So, journaling, if you don't have the time to physically sit and write, we have to use and leverage technology now to be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish. So that is a simple example where you might be driving and then you remember, oh, last year I had wanted to go visit my parents, but I made no plans for that. Maybe you just write it down. And as you speak it into, there are different softwares out there that you can use that, and you print it and just document it. So you have something physical where you can go back to identify and recognize your goals. Because I believe once you see something, all the thoughts that you would have had previously, sometimes when these things happen, you were able to remember. And as you remember, you were able to pick up the pieces. But if you have no record of it, sometimes as life happened, as you mentioned, we are so busy doing this and being this and doing that, it completely out of our minds. And so you would not be able to measure it too.
So, like, maybe you can record while you're
Yes.
driving, and you say something that, yeah, I want to do this and that. Yeah, I actually did that too last year. Yeah, it works. But yeah, let me just share my experience. So I did Tony Robbins Date with Destiny um December 2022. So that was when I wrote everything that I wanted to achieve for 2023. And I'm just gonna tell you, like, I wrote four top things that needed to happen for 2023, and all those four things happened. So number one, to skydive. I did skydiving. Number two, to be what do you call this? To be certified as John Maxwell's as part of John Maxwell's team, and I was able to do that. And
Great.
then number three was to go home. It was to go on vacation in the Philippines, and I was able to do that. And number four was to get my virtual assistant, and then I was able to do that as well. So like, yeah, it's very effective when you're really, I can attest to that, when you really write what you wanted to happen. And yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that, Tancia.
Absolutely. You're most welcome. It definitely works because hadn't you written that down and pay attention to it, it would have just be a wish. But if we're serious about where we want to go, then we've got to be creative and innovative, use leverage technology if we have to, if we're busy, whatever time, whether you're doing the dishes and you remember something, your phone is right there, speak into the phone and have the software to do the translation where they type and you can send it to your email. So as you're going through your email, you might be able to see that. You print that out and you have it. You have, whether it's a binder or something where you could go back to and see, well, these are my plans or these were my thoughts. And what do you do with your thoughts when you would have spoken them? You have it printed. You take action. All right. Because plans and thoughts would not be effective without action. So we have to move. We have to get in motion, whether by buying a course, connecting, going to an event like how you went to Tony Robbins event and be able to keep in action towards
Yeah. Because I
our
believe
goal.
it's, yeah, those things that you mentioned, they're life changing. That if you don't actually invest in yourself, nothing will happen. You will continually be who you are. There is no growth if you don't read a book, don't buy a course, or go to a seminar, stuff like that. So I am a living testimony or product of what you've just said, to, to invest in yourself. Buy a course, read a book, get a mentor, invest in yourself, because when you actually invest in yourself, it will go back to you tenfolds. And
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you.
And one
So yeah.
final nugget, Jeanette, I want to leave with our viewers today. When you think of renewing a mind for success, a lot of times, as I would have mentioned earlier, where you write your goals or you have your goals, you're doing the work, but sometimes we have to dress and behave like the person we want to become, and that some most times comes when we're able to visualize, how kids will have their own dream life and imaginary scenes. Like my daughter, she would have her toys and she's talking and she carrying on our own conversation. Even as adults, we may not want to have physical things and to talk to them, but we must be able, through our mind's eye, to visualize the person we want to be. So see yourself expanding that business. And even as we stretch our imaginations, new ideas will be birthed and unfolded. You may not even think of, you recognize that what you would have written is, let's say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks after you would have written, or maybe a year, 2 years, whatever the period, as you spend time to just see yourself achieving that, what it feels like, what that looks like to be John Maxwell certified um, member, what it feels like. It helps you also to take action and to keep the momentum. So even though life might be happening, when you're able to visualize, when you're able to, you know, imagine the feel of achieving that home or that new job or that raise that you so seek, on your job, you're attracting it because
And makes you excited.
exactly.
It motivates you.
Definitely, definitely. Because the I was about to say what you think of the most, what you spend time on the most, it manifests. Because when we keep thinking on it, visualizing it, we find ourselves speaking it unconsciously. You know, oh yes, I'm a best-selling author. And you talk about it, you see yourself what that looks like, what it feels like, and you hear the congratulations from persons, your friends, your colleagues, and things like that. So it pushes you, it keeps that momentum. So even though life might happen, it is still in your mind and it motivates you to continue.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that. Like, visualizing what you wanted to achieve really pushes you to go further and achieve that goal. But, I just want to add something as well. There are things that we cannot control. There are things that, sometimes we put a goal or we write a goal, but, those goals can be out of, or like, we couldn't really control some results, right? So I see to it that when I make a goal, it should be something that, I know I can get a control over it with. So like um example like, if you create a goal that you will earn 1 million for 1 year, what are your thoughts about it, Tani? Is it something that you can control or not?
Well, if you create a goal to earn 1 million, and you have got to know whether it's an extreme stretch for you or it's just a little stretch or it's a breeze, because you've got to know where you are, and recognizing where you are, then you're able to set goals. Not set a goal that you know that you're going to be able to achieve it, because there's no fun in that. There's no motivation. You're not going to work because you don't recognize, okay, like let's say for example your vacation
Yeah.
as a goal, maybe that might be something that is within your reach, or you know I can be able in 6 months time to get a vacation, because you have all the logistics, the planning, and so on. But your goals must be able to stretch you. So in other words, using the same vacation example, you want to have your family vacation in the Philippines, and how can that stretch you? Then maybe you can have let's say, but in your case you're a family of four. I want to have an extended vacation where I can bring two of my colleagues to see the Philippines on
Uh-huh.
as your treat. That might be a little stretch, because you already know with your family vacation, just an example, the cost might be $4,000, but two additional person will increase your cost, and you may not know, or the time would not permit you to be able to accomplish that goal. It doesn't mean that you have to give it up, but then you can stretch yourself, think of ways, how else can I raise this money, what else can I do, and as you sit and you imagine and think of ways, Sometimes you don't have the answer, but the more you think on these things, out of the blue, sometimes an idea popped into your head. You know, Jeanette, you have all these clothes here. Why don't you then maybe take this month and promote the Philippine culture among your colleagues? And maybe you might be able to sell a garment that, you know, those traditional wear in the Philippines. Just an example to make the point. So, in other words, the more you desire something, the ideas come for you to stretch yourself, and then you work on it. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I love it. So you're trying to say that when you create a goal, when you make a goal, it should be something that will stretch you to get out of your comfort zone. It shouldn't be something that, you just can achieve simply. So is that what you're trying to say? Because I totally
Absolutely.
agree with that too.
Absolutely. Because take for example, you driving en route to your workplace, you're already aware of the stoplights and where you have to turn and these things. If you're going to change course and take another path, then all of your senses, you're more alert. You're no longer driving on autopilot because it's a new area. You have your GPS.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have your GPS guiding you, and you're more alert because it's new information. And the same way, when we focus on where we want to go and give ourselves the permission and open ourselves, give ourselves that permission to have new ideas, then as the ideas come, we challenge ourselves to work on those new ideas, that new information.
Which
Right?
is also an opportunity for growth.
Growth,
Yes,
yes.
yeah, growth is what we are seeking here anyway. So, yeah, that's really true. So, we should always be challenging ourselves so we can continually grow as a person. Because we will never know what we can achieve if we will stay in our comfort zone.
Absolutely.
But
Definitely.
we also make sure that um, whatever that we are pursuing is in alignment to who we are and to our values and how we are designed as a person, right?
Yes,
Because
definitely.
sometimes we will be tempted to go beyond our alignment or our values, like we don't want to compromise our priorities, especially our family, right? But we all know that our family is also our inspiration to grow further, so we can give them the best life that they deserve. But yeah, sometimes it's very like complicated, like um I don't think so as well. If we need to compromise our time for our family, for their future, what is your take on that?
It's not, I wouldn't say compromise our time, but maybe you're utilizing additional time to achieve your goal, not necessarily compromising, you know, the family time. So that's why communication and agreement is paramount, because as a family you can decide, well, okay, kids and husband, in your case, because of these goals, I would need to whether work late or take a course. Taking the course, these are financial costs which will
Yeah.
affect your disposable income
Yes.
as a mom, as a wife. All
Yeah.
right, so you'll have to let them know, well, because of this, I might have to cut here or cut there, but this is just for a season until the goal is achieved. And then you're able now to show them the return on the investment. Once I'm able, like with your John Maxwell certification. Once you would have completed your certification, then you're eligible and more marketable to stand on more stage with confidence and boldness because you have this leadership training under your belt or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a very good topic also that we are touching right now. Actually, yeah, this is actually like a topic that always talking with, yeah, we've always talked about this with my husband, because, like, of course, like just what you've said, that, when you invest in yourself, you're also, using money, yeah, for yourself. And that will, sometimes, your budget, your family budget will also get affected. But then, as you've said, like, right communication is the key in order for this thing not to be in conflict with your family. So yeah, I mean, we need to be open to our families, why we do what we do, and why we're doing it. So yeah, I totally agree on that. And yeah, it's just like, on our journey of achieving what we want to achieve, especially if we have a family, it's really good if we have open communication. And yeah, we always see to it that, yeah, they will always feel loved and cared for, so that they will not question what we're doing for them.
Yeah, and finance is one of the contributing factors for conflicts in families, right? So we have to be
Totally
mindful
agree.
to have that conversation and get the not just buy-in, but agreement, even the kids, so they understand what you're doing, the period, and you share with them the return on that investment, that sacrifice that they might be making. These would be some of the returns. You'll be able to go on more trips because now my earning would have been increased by exponential or whatever the case is. But
Which is in turn makes you accountable to work on what you've said that you're gonna work on, so you will have a return on investment, because your family is, of course, looking forward to it, right? So yeah, this is
definitely.
really, yeah, so this is really good. And what else? Yeah, there's one more thing that I wanted us to talk about, which can also be useful for our viewers. We still have a little bit of time. And so, like, yeah, on our journey for success, sometimes self-care is being compromised, right? Like, I see a lot of entrepreneurs just work so hard, and they don't, or they tend to forget about taking care of themselves. So what is your take on that?
Definitely. Sometimes we see self-care as maybe going to the spa, getting a massage, or whatever the case is, but sometimes you just need, whether it's 5 minutes, that alone time where you get to be with yourself, you get to detox and to declutter all that you might be dealing with, whether it's during the day, during the week, during the month. But I would recommend daily we use 5 minutes for us, where we can clear our heads, where we can talk to ourselves, and encourage ourselves, give ourselves a little pat on the shoulder. Yes, today, Jeanette, you would have done an excellent job at this and that. A lot of times we are very critical of ourselves and we put on the boxing gloves. But when it's to celebrate those moments that we would have done excellently, we find it difficult. And that can be a part of that self care, not only, going to the spa, doing exercises. While those things are important and necessary, if time do not permit, at least you should have in intervals, block out some time for yourself where you can just sit, maybe sip on some wine, do an ice cream, just pamper yourself and spend that time reflecting on, the day's activity, reflecting whatever you might need to. Somebody might get you angry, you use that time also to become centered, where you declutter. Why did I get angry? What triggered the anger? And you're able to spend that time. That mental health is important, and it can also affect our physical health. And if our physical is not up to par, then we cannot be able to be of value and of service to our business or even our families or our jobs. So we definitely need to improve on our self-care a little more in 2024. Just that point 0.5, not even 1%, half of a percent. Try to work on it. It
Yeah,
will
so
help.
yeah, so if one of you guys have not worked on your self-care for the past few years, so definitely this year I hope that you will prioritize self-care, right? Because success is not just all about material wealth. It's holistic. It's all about taking care of your body, your mind, and your
Your mind.
soul.
Yes. Yes.
And if that is all, that's what is abundant, living an abundant life is. So when you can be able to do what you ought to do in a most like efficient way that you can do it, then you are successful.
Definitely.
And I will just like to share this thing last week. Oh, like yeah, last week I will listen to Jay Shetty, and he shared this 20-minute self-care. And I don't know about you, but this can work with you as well. So he said you can have 10-minute workout. Imagine just 10 minutes workout, 7 minutes meditation, or that can be a reflection, reading the Bible, or work on your spiritual life, and then 3 minutes journal. So 20 minutes in your 24 hours for your one day being alive. I think that won't hurt you, right? Again, 10 minutes workout, 7 minutes meditation, 3 minutes journal. And Tancia, told us earlier that in order for us to achieve our goals this year, it is important to journal. Or journaling is vital in order for us to achieve
Yes.
our goals this year. So,
Definitely.
anything that you would like to add, Tanzia? This is really a great conversation. Thank you so much for giving a lot of value in this session that we have today. I really do appreciate you. So, anything that you'd like to add to our viewers?
Well, one, I would like for us this year, I include myself in that, to celebrate ourselves a little more. We don't have to wait until we achieve all the big goals, but the little steps that we're taking, it's going to add up to the journey. So celebrate yourself along the journey. So that way you continue on the momentum and you're able to achieve your goal. You're able to be consistent. It will help with your consistency because what gets celebrated definitely gets repeated.
Yes, for sure. I do agree with you on that 100%. What gets appreciated. So yeah,
Yeah,
appreciate yourself a little bit more. Celebrate yourself a little bit more. It doesn't matter if you've achieved big or small. You deserve to be celebrated. And
Absolutely.
yeah, tell us again, Tanny, where people can reach you, and where can they buy your newly published Amazon best-selling book, Renew Your Mind for Success.
Well, the book is on Amazon, both in Kindle and paperback. It's also, you can access it from the website that is Tanzia at tanziagasper.com. Also, Barnes and Nobles, Target, the books are in those places as well.
Amazing. So thank you so much, Tanny, and looking forward to have this conversation again with you. I love you all and everybody. If you want to buy the book, it will definitely change your life. We said it earlier, and I'm going to say it again: invest in yourself. Buy a book, get a mentor, buy a course, get into a conference or seminar, anything that could help you move forward and make you become a better person. Do it for yourself, because when you invest in yourself, it will just go back to you tenfold. And the best investment that you can ever do is to invest in yourself. I love you all and God bless.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Everyone.